podcast about something where each week we dive deep into whatever it is we find interesting. I'm your host, Kalvin, and joining me from the dojo, it's your co-host, Nick Richardson.
I've heard many of Kias and Wahalas in very
a lot of Wilhelm
different
screams, too.
Oh, dude. Yeah, very good. And the those are great, too. Anytime someone breaks a limb, which is many times in this genre.
Yeah, so we are here today to give out Kung Fu movie superlatives. So
Finally.
Each month... Huh?
I said finally.
Yeah, Nick has been waiting for this for a long time. I do not watch Kung Fu movies. I have watched some leading up to this episode, so I was not looking forward to it. But I had some fun with this. Each month, we, since like the middle of 2018, we have set out to give some made-up awards to different types of movies. And we give out the awards for like different tropes and cliches that fit in within that type of movie. And we can only give out each award to a single movie, and no single movie can receive more than one award. At some point, we also started giving out the Superlatives, which it kind of started as a joke and then we just rolled with it. And these are the exact opposites of the Superlatives, so they're the worst version of everything.
This genre is ripe with both.
Yeah,
good and bad.
And it's sometimes hard to navigate which one is which, because sometimes they're like so bad that they're good, and you come all the way around on it.
Right? Or, there's portions of it that are so bad, and then very minimal sections that are so brilliant that it kind of, makes up for the bad.
Exactly. So Kung Fu, if you're unfamiliar, like I was prior to this, this is the Chinese martial arts, also called Wushu or Quanfa. In China, it refers to any study, learning, or practice that requires patience, energy, and time to complete. In its original meaning, Kung Fu can refer to any discipline or skill achieved through hard work and practice, not necessarily martial arts. Now, I will say, I didn't know that before earlier today when I copied it from Wikipedia. So all of these movies that we're covering actually do delve into the martial arts side of it. It's not just anything that takes time and practice. Otherwise, like, Remember the Titans would be up here again. Coach Carter would be up here.
Coach Carter's Kung Fu is fucking savage, dude.
Yeah.
Shit.
He gets Worm running those suicides. No doubt.
Is this Kung Fu? The meme where he's like pointing at the butterfly?
Oh, yeah. The little butterfly thing?
Yes. Is this Kung Fu?
So, Nick, in your mind, what makes a Kung Fu movie a Kung Fu movie?
When they at least shout their fighting style one time. That's a big one. Also hand-to-hand combat. It can be with weapons but that's got to be the main source of handling things, if you know what I mean.
So Batman movies are Kung Fu movies.
He definitely uses a lot of Kung Fu, but that's more of a means to an end. This is more of like a discipline. They just go. Batman uses a lot of other methods to solve problems, not just Kung Fu. Most of these are pretty much just Kung Fu. You cut me in line, Kung Fu. You fucking step on my sneaker, Kung Fu. You jump my rope, Kung Fu.
You're shipping hookers to an island and then out from the island and then killing them on the island, Kung Fu.
Fucking Kung Fu.
Yeah, I kind of boiled it down to pretty much any movie where the bulk of the combat is hand-to-hand martial arts, or foot-to-foot in some cases.
Weapons counts,
Some weapons, but still like handheld weapons.
Of a
swords, knives, daggers,
right,
those types of things.
No handguns.
Blades. Yeah, no guns, no grenades, anything like that.
Nunchucks are dope.
Yeah. Ooh, I didn't even think about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Those would all qualify.
Yeah.
What am I doing here?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I've rewritten my whole list. They're all just the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies.
See, here's what I did, though. I left off Ninja Turtles because I kind of wanted to stick. I'm just going to go ahead and spoil that for you. And I left off another one that I can't think of. Kill Bill.
See, I didn't. That was one of the ones I watched.
I stayed away from some of the more major Kung Fu movies because I think the littler ones have better stuff.
Well, I'll do the bulk of the talking on the bigger ones because those were the first ones I kind of went to. Like I said, I don't have a lot of familiarity with this genre coming into it. So I tried to go after some classics, some Bruce Lee stuff, some Jet Li stuff, and then the kind of bigger name ones, like you said, Kill Bills, Matrixes, Kung Fu Panda, that type stuff. Didn't even think about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That would have given me a lot more to go from without having to watch more movies.
Oops.
Yeah, but that's fine. It's fine. So we'll get into giving these awards out. Today we're giving out 5, well, really 10 awards, best and worst. So we give out the best and worst fight sequence, the best and worst protagonist, the best and worst choreography or stunt, the best and worst stakes, like why are they kung fuing? What's the point? What goal are they trying to accomplish? And the best and worst finishing move. Can't have a kung fu movie without somebody just blasting the shit out of you at the end.
I mean, just hammer fisting you to death, basically.
Exactly.
Man, that would have been, or like, yeah, what fighting style do they yell out? That would have been a good one too.
Could have been, but we didn't do that.
I'm from Dojo Abraham.
You could have gone with, you could kind of fit that into choreography or stunt or fight sequence too,
They open the fight sequence by screaming,
Exactly.
House of the Pig!
So let's get right into it. Start with best fight sequence. I'm going to go first, so that way, hold on, you get the last award. You get to put the nail in the coffin. Usually I'm the one that puts the nail in the coffin, but this is your realm. These kung fu movies are yours. You need to get all of that glow at the end of this episode. So that's why I'm going first here.
Aw. He does like me, you guys.
My insight into kung fu movies is not going to be nearly as good as yours, so I want to end on the high note of you talking about something that you know about rather than me BSing something about that I watched like 6 movies on.
And then he yelled, Style of the Dragon?
So, for best fight sequence, I went straight to Kill Bill Volume 1. And that is her handling her business, the bride handling her business to get to O-Ren Ishii. Not the actual fight with Lucy Liu's character, but everything that happened from walking into their dojo or whatever it is to actually having that last face-off. She dispatches these first few women guards pretty brutally. Then the backup comes in on their motorcycles, and the scene switches to black and white, which is really fucking cool.
Oh, yeah.
And she just continues to mow through all these mostly useless henchmen. Great choreography there. It's brutal. The black and white really makes it stand out and look beautiful. Like I was watching this movie while I worked, and once it switched to black and white, like I was just fixated on the movie for a few minutes. I wasn't on a meeting or anything. I was just typing some emails or some shit, and I was just like, I had to stop what I was doing and watch that, and it was awesome.
You know why they did that?
To get me fixated on it?
Actually, it was more of a choice, because if they had that scene in it colorized, then it would be NC-17.
NC-17. That's interesting.
But I think it's just another kind of thing that Quentin Tarantino has done that's absolutely brilliant. That's his natural talent kind of coming through, I think. Just get around this bullshit, and it's beautiful. I'm
not one of these like Tarantino heads. I like the movies I've seen, which are Pulp Fiction, Django Unchained, the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and now both Kill Bills, I think are the only ones I've seen of his.
Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah, I've seen that one too.
Reservoir Dogs?
Nope, haven't seen that one.
Oh.
Before my time. I like them, but they're not like these movies that I want to go watching over and over again. And I'm not like one of these Tarantino nerds who knows all this information about them, and that doesn't do it.
You fucking nerd, Nick.
But I mean, I'm a nerd about plenty other things, just not Quentin Tarantino.
It's just not cool shit.
Yeah, exactly. But like Tarantino also chooses great music in this scene. It's so epic, and it helps just keep moving the scene forward as she goes kind of from room to room and type of henchman to henchman. And then after the black and white, it switches to that silhouette against like the blue light background, which is really cool again. And I just felt like he really put everything he had into that one scene. And I hadn't watched a ton of the classic kung fu movies when I had watched Kill Bill yet. But you could tell where he was trying to kind of pay homage to all of these classic scenes. She's got that yellow suit like Bruce Lee in Enter the Dragon, and just the choreography looked very old school kung fu movie. And, I think he did a great job of incorporating those homages without taking away from the action in any meaningful way. Like, it's really easy to go, well, I want to make sure she's wearing this outfit to look like Bruce Lee, but I'm going to make sure you focus on this outfit and take you completely out of the context of the scene. He never does that. He keeps the scene moving forward while paying homage to all these old movies. And just that whole scene, it reminded me a lot of the church scene in Kingsman. And, well, really, I guess Kingsman is more like that scene than the other way around.
It's the crazy, over-the-top violence.
Exactly. The eventual sword fight with Lucy Liu is not very good. Except, like, the snow setting that it's in is really cool, but it's not great.
The cinematography is pretty sick. And the effects are also solid. But I love the scene you're talking about where she's fighting the crazy 88s, and that in itself is totally a callback to the old school kung fu movie, where the one-man army stereotype, and yeah, it's also with the yellow jumpsuit. It's really easy to follow her throughout the scene because she's in a setting that's brown. Everyone she's fighting is pretty much dressed in a suit and tie. So, which is
another good look. Always a great look
clean
in these movies when they go, like, the bad guys are in suits. It's always great.
They look clean as shit.
Rush Hour likes to do that, too.
They also look clean as shit. Chris Tucker can rock a goddamn suit. Jackie Chan, I don't know.
So what do you got for the best fight sequence?
What I've been telling you to watch for literal years.
Yeah, I watched it. Not impressed. I think we lost Nick. He's gone. And so the final month of the podcast about something will just be me by myself now.
I just had to lean back in my chair for a second and silently explode.
Actually, he was screaming that whole time. I just silenced his microphone at the end of it.
Just Ferret screaming into my shirt. The fight scene at the end of Flashpoint, starring Donnie Yen from 2007. It's Donnie Yen fighting Colin Cho. And basically, Donnie Yen is playing a hardcore detective who fucks a lot of people up. He basically just beats people to death routinely in Hong Kong, and it's set before Hong Kong is returned to or reincorporated by China. So a lot of tensions at the time, and basically someone gets killed. Donnie Yen goes after the ringleader, who is Colin Chow, and both of these guys are some of the best martial artists of all time, and it culminates in like a 9-minute just fight to the death, basically. Long. It's so good, dude. It's unreal. Donnie Yen switches between 7, 8 different fighting styles throughout the scene. The choreography's insane, timing's insane, music's dope. These guys are going full bore, and you can absolutely tell that they are just nailing it. This is one of the few movies where I really appreciated the view cuts. Like, it shifted at several kind of key points, like when a fist would connect or a foot would drop, and it worked. Normally it doesn't work because it feels disjointed, but these guys absolutely nailed it, man. It's so smooth.
I'll give Donnie Yen some credit. He did a great job in this movie. I didn't know, so like when I was going into it, I was like, I know the name Donnie Yen somewhere. I know it somewhere. I can't figure it out. He's fucking Sharut in Rogue One.
Yes.
For all those people who are plebes on the kung fu like me. But he made his name in movies like Flashpoint and Ip Man and all of that. So it was really cool to see him like fully unleashed as opposed to like what Sharut is in Rogue One, which is a great character, but he doesn't go full in except in that one scene.
Well, and Donnie Yen, I think he knows like 15 or 16 martial arts. He fought, I think, semi-professionally in the UFC. Like, he had a couple matches there. This dude can bang. No joke.
Yeah, and he produced and directed some of these movies too.
Yeah, you can tell the ones he did. It's gratuitous sometimes, but I want to give some credit to Colin Chow here, his opposition. That dude is also very, very good.
Yeah, it takes a lot to get the shit beat out of you for 9 minutes.
Dude, he had Donnie Yen on the ropes for like 6 minutes of that. He's longer, leaner. It's a good. These guys aren't like ridiculously jacked, superpowered people. They're, one's kind of tall and skinny, one's short and medium.
Yeah, they're martial artists.
Yeah, they're martial artists. They're there to fuck each other up with their fists, feet, and the environment, and they do a good job of that.
Global warming's killing us all, Nick. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah. Where's Al Gore when I need him?
Yeah. Using the environment to fuck each other up.
That's not tight, man. I have asthma now because of you. You dick.
Way to
That's
go,
for
Donnie
life,
Yen.
Bro. It's for life.
I just aerosols and shit.
Before me and my, like, right when my wife and I originally got together, I was in a Kung Fu movie kick, and I discovered all these movies I'm going to talk about. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. And it took her 9 years to finally look at me and be like, I don't care about
my wife did that with Arrested Development with me. I was talking, like, early in the relationship, we were talking about, like, these shows that we like. And I was like, oh, yeah, I love Arrested Development. It's really funny and smart and how they pull all these jokes together. And she's like, oh, yeah, it's really great. And she hates it.
She liked you. Oh.
Apparently.
Yeah, it took my wife a while to finally admit it. She knew it would hurt me.
You guys are having a fight over some other nonsense, and she's just like, and I hate Kung Fu movies, so fuck them and fuck you.
Fuck you. I do it real bad with, like, super dope fight scenes in anime, too. I was trying to show her a Demon Slayer fight scene, and she's like, honey, I don't care. Like, I'm not like you. I don't care.
Look, I'm in the same boat. I don't like these long, extended fight scenes that are, like, 8 to 10 minutes. That's gratuitous.
That's a one-of-a-kind, in a sense. Like, the pacing of that, at least.
I just zone out, because nothing's actually happening. I know the good guy's going to win the fight, especially if it's at the end of the movie.
They're literally fighting. Like, nothing's happening. They're fucking each other up.
We'll put a pin in that and come back to it, okay?
See, I don't like watching real fights, but good fights like that, I'm down for. Let us know on Twitter. Is it a dope fight scene?
So let's now talk about not dope fight scenes.
Oh yeah.
With the worst fight sequence, I went with Bloodsport. This is no Jean-Claude Van Damme fight. It was the bouncing around black guy who was just like jumping all over the place versus the big sumo dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the black guy is full on caricature type fighting style that's supposed to look African probably. He's just bouncing around on all fours, and the big dude, he just kind of stands there and kind of flinches every time he gets hit. And then eventually he walks over to him and bear hugs him into submission. Like, that is not a good fight sequence at any moment.
It was fucking awful. It was awful.
You got the very stereotypical, pretty much racist black guy, and then the sumo just like standing there and then hugging him for 5 seconds. Let's
be real. That was a Jean-Claude Van Damme decision. It was 1988, and there was a shitload of cocaine on set. That was racist. It was so stereotyped.
I did not like Bloodsport either.
I remember watching that when I was like 9.
Not very good storyline going on there. He's just got to go fight in this tournament. Cool.
It's more convoluted than that. He's like a fighter who fucking runs away from his commitment so he can go to Hong Kong. It's the tournament of a lifetime. It's Bloodsport. Get the fuck out of here. Apparently based on a true
story. Who knew?
Yeah, I mean, who knew it happened to Jean-Claude and his buddy Steven Seagal? I don't know if you've ever heard of Bloodsport 7, The New Blood.
What was your worst fight sequence?
The man with the iron fists.
Oh, I got that somewhere later. Don't worry.
DZA versus... God, I can't think of his name. Dave Bautista as Brass Body. Terrible.
Terrible. That wasn't good.
It was like Dragon Ball Evolution with less budget. It was fucking awful. The dialogue was atrocious. The only thing that I thought redeemed it in the slightest was DZA actually went with the physics of having super heavy iron hands on, or iron fucking
plated hands.
You mean the RZA?
I don't know why I keep saying DZA.
I don't know. I'm fucking
it's the RZA. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with.
Man, I feel like an asshole now.
That's okay. I corrected you. We're good.
The physics of it, okay? So, like, when he kind of throws his hand out wide, he swings a little bit because of the weight. That was the only redeeming factor. But otherwise, terrible.
Not a good movie. I knew it wasn't a good movie, but I specifically watched it.
Atrocious, dude.
Yeah, no, I specifically watched it because the last things on my list that I had to fill in, I needed 2 worst awards to give out. So I was like, well, I can watch this bad movie and definitely get one.
You can probably get 30.
Well, yeah, I could have. You could have put worst for literally every. You could have put the Man with the Iron Fist for every superlative on this very easily.
So bad.
Yeah, it's not good.
I remember getting all hyped for it. I'm like, oh, dope. Eli Roth
Russell
is part of this.
Yeah.
What? This rapper? Like, tight. Russell Crowe? Yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, my God, dude.
Fucking Johnny Tran from Fast and Furious is in there.
Unreal, man. Who made this movie? Did he pay for this out of pocket?
The RZA? Yeah, I don't know.
He's terrible.
He's not good. Not a good director. Not a very good actor.
He's fucking horrible, man. Did you have the Dragon Ball Z nerds at school?
Not really. I didn't really talk to them. We had like a couple. There were only 35 kids in my graduating class, so.
Oh fuck, man! I had like 350. But anyway, there was this group of kids who, like, when they got really upset, they would scream at the top of their lungs and like stand there, trying to puff themselves out, like staring off to the side like they're fucking hard. That's what it reminded me of. It's like, man, were you bullied in school?
Yeah, the closest thing we had was the kid would do, we had one kid that would do like the hand motions, right? Like they're gathering up the Kamehameha or whatever.
Kamehameha?
Yeah. That's all he would do. He'd just kind of sit there when he was bored, and that was like his version of doodling. He'd just sit there and do like these kind of hand motion things. But like he wouldn't like push it out or anything. He'd just sit there like he's gathering it up. We didn't have anybody doing the actual screen.
Genius. Dude, it was sick. These kids were awesome. Fucking loved them. They'd be arguing.
Yeah. The worst part about The Man with the Iron Fist is the RZA put like a lot of work and study into it. Like he studied Shaolin martial arts and like all of this stuff. He was very in tune with the culture he was trying to appropriate. I guess he's just a bad writer, he's just a bad storyteller. And I guess his version was like 4 hours long or something. And they got it cut down to an hour and 45 minutes.
That's still too long. It's too long. That movie could be 35 minutes and I'd be okay. I will say, like, the general feel of the time period is okay. Like, there's some obviously made up shit, but he did he did some research. He just can't write for anything and can't act for anything.
He's not a good storyteller.
No. He doesn't look like a martial artist in this, or a blacksmith even. He looks like a blacksmith who
he's
literally
just slave, Nick. Somehow he got to China from America.
I mean, Yusuke got to Japan. But I'm just saying, blacksmiths, dude, like, the RZA doesn't look like a goddamn blacksmith I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen like 3.
Whoa. All right, so let's move to the best protagonist. You go first here. Who you got?
Ip Man. Literally any Ip Man movie.
You're just going to pick Donnie Yen for everything, aren't you?
Yep. Get ready, y'all. Donnie Yen through the whole list. I'm going with the first movie specifically. Did you watch the first Ip Man?
No, I didn't get to it.
It's pretty compelling. As a protagonist, basically he's a affluent Chinese martial arts instructor, and this is during the build up to World War II, so the rape of Nanking and stuff like that. Oh, it might be World War One actually.
I think it was World War One.
I think it's
because I read
right
the
after.
Like the synopsis when choosing to watch that,
it's like
or
1918.
Flashpoint.
So it's kind of during, basically when China's getting raped by Japan. So there's these like Japanese soldiers that kind of take over his section, his area. So he has to leave that profession, and I don't know, it's really kind of silly. Like, one of the Japanese commanders is a hard-ass motherfucker who thinks his kung fu is better than anyone else's kung fu, and eventually kills one of Donnie Yen's homeboys, and he has to let him know, well, fuck y'all up. And also, this is Bruce Lee's teacher in real life.
Yes, I did read that.
So yeah,
the character he's playing is Bruce Lee's teacher in real life, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Ip Man was a real dude. Obviously, it's very exaggerated, but he was a unique character. He practiced Wing Chun, which is more of like a feminine. Wing Chun tonight! But
everybody have fun tonight. No?
Dude, you should have done it at the Batman voice. Everybody Wing Chun. Then you could call that a martial arts movie. But
Batman doesn't have fun.
He doesn't, though. He doesn't. Well, he probably has sadistic fun. Anyway, that's the best protagonist. He's such a sweet dude. He's very calm, mild manner, practices a feminine defensive form of martial arts, and tries not to hurt people, but they just try to out fucking kung fu him. Helps a lot of people out, protects the neighborhood. He's a good cat. I like him.
It's like a Chinese Captain America. No?
Close.
Yeah, almost.
There you go.
So my best protagonist was Blade from Blade.
Oh, dude, nice.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
Dude, that opening scene in the original Blade is so good. That kung fu is sick.
Yeah. He's a half, for anybody who doesn't know who Blade is, he's a half vampire that can walk around in daylight, and he kills other vampires using kung fu and swords.
He's called the Daywalker.
Yeah. You can't tell me that there's a better hero in a kung fu movie than that. I won't allow it. Don't at me on it.
Shang-Chi.
Nope. It's Blade.
For release movies, I'm going with Blade. And just to throw this out there, to be played in the future by Mahershala Ali.
Yes, that'll be really good too.
So good.
Well, I want to talk about Wesley Snipes because he is such a perfect badass in this movie too. And I'm not sure how he pulled it off, but he definitely seems to get it when it comes to Blade. He does a great job of
He
this.
is literally Blade in real life. That is like what Wesley Snipes
I
acts
don't
like.
know that that's true. Like, I don't ever think of Wesley Snipes as this great actor. He's really good at being like this swindler or this really braggadocious guy like he is in White Men Can't Jump, Major League, New Jack City, all those movies. And Blade like kind of fits into that, but it's also a little bit deeper than all of those things. And he does a good job of capturing that depth somehow, at least in the first movie. The other movies kind of got away from his depth a little bit. But I haven't ever seen that much depth out of Wesley Snipes in other performances, really.
He embodied Blade. That was just his thing.
And he did great. So shout out Blade.
Yeah, that opening scene is so good.
It really is.
That first movie is really underrated, and that jump-started the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, basically. Or superhero genre.
Wasn't X-Men before it?
I think Blade was before X-Men, but I think X-Men really got the love.
Let's see, imdb.com.
Blade is 98, and I think X-Men was 2000.
X-Men. When was Spider-Man, though? Yep, you're right on X-Men. Spider-Man, I think, was 99. Oh, 2002. Jesus, that was really late.
So I
always thought that was earlier.
Yeah, Blade.
Shout out Blade.
My guy. Thank you for burning me out on superheroes, you son of a bitch.
This all started 23 years ago, and it's your fault now that we don't want to watch it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah!
Right when they're about to make some actual kung fu superhero movies.
I know. I'm so pumped for Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi looks really good, and the Eternals look good too. I'm
very curious about the Eternals. Very apprehensive.
I think it'll be a big world-building movie, which I like. I hope it'll be a big world-building movie.
I want it to be like a big, just not over the top, but colorful, just piece of, cinema. Like, the cinematography looks fantastic. All the practical effects look great. The colors look awesome. I'm ready for another really bright, vibrant Marvel movie. Like, Thor Ragnarok was... I didn't realize I needed that as much as I did. That shit was awesome.
So who do you have for the worst protagonist?
Recent pick. This is the most recent one I got. It's Donnie Yen in Rogue One. I'm just kidding. It's Cole Young for Mortal Kombat that was released this year. Cole Young.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
He fucking sucks, dude. The actor is terrible. Like I was
We've
reading,
got 300 characters in the Mortal Kombat universe. Let's make a new one that just fucking sucks.
I mean, he would be cool if the actor was remotely decent, but he is horrendous. And I read an article. They're like, oh, why do you think you don't get consistent work in Hollywood? He's like, oh, kind of hedged on a racial thing. And then I watched Mortal Kombat because, I'm like, man, that sucks for that dude. At least he's getting his big break now. He's terrible. He is fucking awful.
Well, and the movie's not good. From a storytelling or dialogue standpoint, it's fun, which is what you're there for a Mortal Kombat movie, I think.
Yes, I really enjoyed it.
But like everybody else kind of goes all in on the hamminess of it, and he is stuck between this, well, this shit's not believable, but also I'm going to play it serious at the same time. And he just doesn't do either side of it justice.
He's just off. Like his reactions and emotions to things are just off. Like something tragic looked like it happened. I can't remember which scene exactly, but it was like something tragic was going on, and he's like super like, is everything okay? Like, are you good? It was a reaction that didn't make sense to me at all. It was like polar opposite of what it should have been, and that happened many times.
Mm-hmm. Well, plus he had, like, when he got his superpower, it was the Dave Bautista from Man with the Iron Fist superpower, which is the dumbest superpower in the world.
Yeah, he got a suit of armor that's flexible and some batons.
And some batons.
What the fuck is this shit? This dude shoots fireballs, and another guy can
bring
freeze
down
everything.
Sub-Zero, apparently.
Yeah, whack. Well, he needed his ancestor, Scorpion.
Get over here.
The first iteration of his "Get Over Here" in the commercials was terrible.
They fixed it a little bit.
Yeah.
They fixed it a little bit, but they still didn't get it there. Just like take the audio from the game. Who cares? You got to get that right.
I really, really liked it. Not gonna lie, man. I don't know the actor's name off the top of my head, but he's one of my favorites. He's been in a lot of kung fu movies, and he is super good as Scorpion.
Yes, I liked the character of Scorpion. The "Get Over Here" still wasn't right.
It sounded really fucked up. It's like he went to a speech therapist or something after he recorded that first one and got it down.
Yeah. So for the worst protagonist, I picked the one and only Karate Kid, Daniel LaRusso. Fuck this kid. He is a whiny bitch throughout the movie. Doesn't want to move from New Jersey to California. Like, who the fuck is going, nah, California sucks. I want to stay in New Jersey.
Nobody. Trying to stay at the shore.
He instigates the Cobra Kai kids after their sensei told them to stop messing with him. So he just starts going after them at that point. He's an asshole to Mr. Miyagi when he's trying to impart some wisdom on him. And, like, I get it that the Cobra Kai are the bullies and they're the bad guys because they win karate tournaments and they smoke weed. But
they smoke. Have you ever done karate on weed?
And, like, they start out fucking with him mostly unprompted. But everything after the initial two beatings, like, they get him on the beach when he's talking to Johnny Lawrence's ex-girlfriend. And then they run him down on their bikes. Everything after that is on Daniel LaRusso. He tackles a kid during soccer tryout like he's fucking Bart Scott. He brings Miyagi to the Cobra Kai dojo to tell their sensei that they should stop fucking with him instead of, like, dealing with it himself. And then at school, he just starts punking all the Cobra Kai kids because he knows they won't fight back because their sensei told him not to. And it's just really shitty.
Yeah, he's not a tight kid, man.
No.
Jalen Smith.
His only redeeming quality is his ability to flirt with Johnny Lawrence's ex-girlfriend. He's actually, like, really good with her.
Yeah, they got good chemistry. He's macking on her hard.
And I'm not on this whole, like, Johnny Lawrence is the real hero of the movie, like, that whole thing. He's kind of equally shitty and definitely a bully, but I just want to give Danny his credit for sucking also. It's possible that everyone in a movie just sucks, and that's what happens here.
Hey, man. Mr. Miyagi's fucking dope.
Okay, Miyagi's good, and the girlfriend's okay. She doesn't do very much. Like, they just don't give her much to do.
Acceptable.
Yeah. And so I just want to address this before we move on. In recent years, Daniel LaRusso has gotten shit because he cheated in the finals against Johnny Lawrence with his crane kick. I don't think that's true. He didn't cheat.
How is that?
Because I watched it. Huh?
How is it cheating?
Well, people say, so the argument is that the kid that he was matched up with in the semifinals got ejected for an illegal kick to the face or something like that. So then Danny goes into the next round and kicks Johnny Lawrence in the face. And that's just not true. Like, well, he did, but so when they first get there, the only rules, his girlfriend says the only rules are anything above the waist, you get a point. You can hit the head, you can hit the chest, you can hit the kidneys, etc. So kicking the head, completely legal. That's not why the other kid got disqualified. So the next complaint is that the flying part of the crane kick was illegal because that's what the other kid in the semifinal got disqualified for too, is that he was flying or whatever. Or like he left both his feet to do it, and that's not true either. So all these people arguing that he did something illegal to win the fight, you're just wrong and you don't remember the movie correctly. Because I watched it and then I rewound and watched it again to make sure I can make this point. Because the kid in the semifinals was disqualified for excessive and deliberate contact because more or less he tried to injure Daniel. He did everything he could to actually inflict pain and injury on Daniel. He wasn't doing like a real karate move. So from what I can tell, Daniel won fair and square, and we've just been being fed this Billy Zabka propaganda for the past 10 or so years.
They're feeding us bullshit.
Yeah.
It's Hillary. Her emails.
The whole premise of like Cobra Kai all got started because Johnny Lawrence was cheated out of the victory or whatever. But I'm here to say Daniel LaRusso won the All Valley Karate Championship. He's a whiny bitch, but the win is still legit.
The win is the win.
Yeah. You can't take it away from him.
Never.
That was the first time I saw Karate Kid.
I've never watched it all the way through.
I'm not super happy with it. Like, it's fine, but he's just unbearable.
Have you seen the new Karate Kid?
With Jaden Smith? No.
I've also seen bits of that. It was terrible.
Yeah, I heard that one was bad. At least this one has like the 30 years of, no, it's the Karate Kid. You got to watch it. He's the best there is.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so let's move to the best choreography / stunt. I go first here. I went with Romeo Must Die. With Jet Li kung fuing his way out of the jail cell while he's suspended by his foot. They've just got him in there hanging by a foot, and then he breaks out. He starts throwing chains at the guards. He starts like choking them out and gets a kick on one of them, gets himself out of the chain, and then just sneaks out of the prison. They add in some of those like late PS2, Xbox 360 Mortal Kombat X-ray effects, which are always really cool.
Nice.
When he's breaking knees and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. A little slow motion.
Yeah, so that was just a really cool use of Jet Li's abilities, I thought.
Jet Li had a run there of just awesome shit.
Yeah,
and everything.
Well, and he started doing the Americanized kung fu movies. Like he really in the early 2000s was like, no, I'm here. I'm gonna make some of these movies.
He was it.
Yeah. So on a side note here, I don't know how I missed this in 2000. It's DMX, Aaliyah, Anthony Anderson, Jet Li. Like 12-year-old me should have been all over this movie. I wasn't though for whatever reason. So I just watched it, and Aaliyah was surprisingly great in this movie. And it's not really an easy movie to be great in. It's not like the script and the plot of the movie is not great. Like they're trying, yeah, they're trying to kill off people because they're trying to buy up all the waterfront property so the Oakland Raiders can move into town or something. Like whatever.
Romeo Must Die.
Yeah, and when Aaliyah died, I never fully understood kind of the allure of Aaliyah because I was too young to get it at the time. When she died, I had only heard like a very limited amount of her music, and I don't think I'd seen her in any movies. She was only in 2 movies before she died, but like I hadn't seen anything of her. But like after watching this movie, I kind of start to get it a little bit more. Because it always seemed like losing Aaliyah was this tragic loss. And yes, it was because she was young and all of that, and she had her whole career in front of her. But like people put her up there on like Notorious B.I.G., Tupac, Michael Jackson level of how tragic it was that she was lost. And I was just like, her music's fine. But
Right.
yeah, like it's okay. It's I don't think it's on the level of any of those. But then when I'm watching this movie, it made more and more sense. Like every time she's on screen, she's just extremely captivating. You get lost in whatever she's saying because she has this poise and grace. And it even happens when the dialogue is bad. And this is all her first acting role. And she is really amazing at being captivating.
That she is.
And side note, she was offered the role of Juliet in Romeo plus Juliet, the one with Leonardo DiCaprio.
That would have been good.
That movie's crazy. Like absolutely bonkers. And I couldn't imagine how much greater that movie would have been with Aaliyah instead of Claire Danes as Juliet.
I could see it. I could see it.
It would be great. Can we get like one of those holograms like they did of Carrie Fisher and just throw her in there anyways?
That would be sick.
What did you have for the best choreography or stunt?
Best choreography. I chose 2 movies actually in the same series. The Raid and The Raid 2, or The Raid Redemption.
I didn't think of those until way too late. I was like, oh yeah, The Raid. Everybody says those are really good.
Whoo!
That's on me.
Buddy, I would have picked the last fight scene in Flashpoint. Obviously, I already picked it. But The Raid and The Raid 2 are both just unreal, man. It's amateurish. It doesn't have the big budget that a lot of these other movies don't even really have big budgets, but they have even less so. So it's pretty much all people like genuinely fighting, it looks like. It's so good. There's a 2-on-1 fight in The Raid 2. There's a lot of weapons fighting. It's, a police officer trying to escape from a building after a raid gone bad. And so good. So good. I can't really give it justice, but the way it's written and performed, it's something you gotta see to believe. Like, I would just look it up on YouTube and see what you think. But it's so clean, it's so fast paced. It's kind of got the allure of those one-shot hallway fights like in Daredevil or Old Boy. But it's still got a few cuts in there and stuff like that. They're just experts duking it out.
It's not the one with Paul Walker, is it? That was Attack the Block, isn't it?
Yes. I think.
2011. John Boyega. No. Which one had Paul Walker? So this is where we need audience reactions. I know he was in one of these movies because it was in Furious 7. He goes against, I don't remember the actor's name, but they have a matchup there, and it's like a rematch of whatever that other movie was. Was it The Raid 2?
Yeah. I don't remember him in The Raid 2.
I don't see him.
It's not necessarily, I mean, it's borderline Kung Fu movie, but it's fucking dope. And follow-up for that, or runner-up, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean,
I never saw that one.
I've never seen the whole thing through, but I've watched that sword fight scene 2,000 times. By 2,000, I mean 20.
It's not The Raid 2. He's not in The Raid 2.
I just looked up The Raid 2, and it says Paul Walker in the credits.
Well, I'm looking at Paul Walker, and I don't see him in there. 2009, Fast and Furious. 2010, Takers,
Google
Fast
The
5,
Raid 2.
Vehicle 9, Hours.
And
It was
he's
Brick
the fourth
Mansions.
person.
Yeah, but he's not in there. I'm telling you.
Look up The Raid 2 on Google.
I looked it up on IMDb.
Just Google it.
It just says Paul Walker. He's not in. He was dead by 2014.
Doesn't mean it was filmed in 2014. That's a 2.5 hour movie. I never realized it was 2.5 hours.
We're all the way down this rabbit hole now.
Nah. All right, we got to get out of this rabbit hole.
All right, so let's go to the worst choreography and stunt. And that goes to The Man with the Iron Fists.
Nice.
Obviously.
As long as you gave it a worst of something. That
I did.
Shit.
And I went with the opening scene here. Everyone is just like, it's when they're killing the gold lion, I think. everyone moves around so slowly, and RZA like shoots the scene in a way that it's supposed to look like it's slow motion, but it's really not slow motion. It's just that these guys clearly can't do anything impressive.
Yeah,
So they're just moving slowly to make sure they hit their marks and get the choreography right. The stuff they're doing is not cool in any way, even if it wasn't like super slowed down, and they like step on each other's feet, and then they kind of grapple each other and walk in step, and then one guy just rips another guy's arms off at the elbow with the slowest, weakest grapple pull I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's not.
There was no choreography director. Like, HBO shows have better shit.
Yeah, it was it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah, it's
okay, everyone.
You guys should watch it just to see how terrible it is. I would like to watch that when I was shit-faced or something.
I mean, that was a little bit why I went into it. I was like, I've heard it so bad, I've got to check it out for myself.
And it was.
Tony Jaa is the guy that Paul Walker fights in Furious 7.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's what Tony Jaa is, like, big time.
Worst choreography and stunt. The RZA with Man of the Iron Fist, obviously. And what did you have?
I just want to leave one thing with the RZA. Dude, you suck. The movies are not good. If you're listening, RZA.
Yeah, go make another Wu-Tang out. And let everybody buy it.
And just don't let your shitty Kung Fu movie writing carry over to your dope rap lyrics.
Also, I'm sorry, Paul Walker was not dead in 2014. Well, yes, he was. He was dead in 2013. But Furious 7 came out in 2015, so that speaks to your point of he could have obviously filmed scenes before that.
I mean, it'd take a while. I mean, the Raid 2, that's big budget, bro.
He's not in the Raid 2. It's not on his IMDb page. That's all I'm saying. All right, what is your worst choreography?
So I went with a movie where the majority of combat is hand-to-hand. There's just not much of it. So it's not necessarily a Kung Fu movie, but I stumbled upon it in my research, and I had to nominate it for something. And that was Dave Franco and Mark Ruffalo fighting in Now You See Me. So bad. Oh my god, it's fucking...
It definitely does not qualify as a Kung Fu movie. There's no way.
So you remember Alex Rider? Remember how terrible that movie was? Like, how hammy it was? It is exactly this way. Well, Dave Franco is supposed to look like an action star, and Mark Ruffalo is supposed to look like a badass, and he is a bumbling tit, and it does not work in the slightest. The only cool thing about it is Dave Franco kind of throws some fireballs at him, but there's a point where Mark Ruffalo is wrestling with a CGI sheet, and it's not good, and they're like, the dialogue is absolutely terrible. And neither of them can fight. You can tell neither of them have taken a second of like choreography training, have been in a fist fight in their entire life. And
no, of course not.
I mean, this is probably like the third take, and they're like, fuck it, it's good enough. No one's gonna watch this shit ass movie anyways, so let's go. It's terrible. I just ran across it, and I watched it 3 or 4 times because I'm just like,
it's a good movie. I enjoy the movie.
What the fuck is this? They could have left that out completely and it would have been fine. And
absolutely.
That was it. It was terrible. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. I like that movie.
It's
not a good
movie.
Fight scene.
No, it's fucking
Now You See Me is bad. Part 2, not good at all.
Now You See Me
Yeah. It's okay to just have one movie, it be good, and move on with your lives.
Yeah, pretty much. But Hollywood can't do that, Kalvin.
No. Shout out Logan Lucky.
Do you think they're going to make a Logan Lucky 2?
I hope not. I think there were talks of it, though.
I really hope not. I think they shouldn't make a second Knives Out.
No.
They're already in production.
Yeah, that's a bad idea, too.
No.
Because it's just following, like, Daniel Craig and Lakeith Stanfield, which I'm all for. I like those guys. But, like, Knives Out doesn't make any sense in that context, because that was about that family that they were investigating. So it's not about the detective. So why not just, like, spin it off as Detective Clouseau or whatever the fuck his name is? It's his movie now. It's not Knives Out anymore. We're not with this family with all the knives.
That's what they're following, because he's that, revered detective. But let's be honest, Chris Evans was the tour de force in that movie.
His sweater game definitely was.
Mm-hmm.
I still think give Lakeith Stanfield more to do in the second one.
I do too. His like calm bewilderment at stuff was great. I love Lakeith Stanfield.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
He is fucking awesome.
So now we're on to the biggest stakes, aka why are they kung fuing? Nick, what do you got?
I got Kiss of the Dragon, one of the many dragon kung fu movies. This is a Jet Li movie, 2001. Kind of flew under the radar for a lot of people, but basically he's a cop in a new country. He's from Hong Kong, and he goes to Paris to help solve like this prostitution drug ring problem. Then he gets blamed for the drug ring, and also he has to protect like a family friend's store who he's kind of staying with, and save a prostitute and her daughter who is being sold into sex slavery. Very fucking intense.
And they're trying to move the raiders to Oakland, and they're buying up all the waterfront properties.
There is several waterfront property scenes. One even takes place on a boat when they're going with the rendezvous.
He has a relationship with Aaliyah. And there's like 15 things here. Come on.
And the prostitute pees in the street. I remember that because she tries to go in his store, and he's like, "Nah, bitch, you fucking stink. Get out of here." And she's like, "All right, well, I'm just going to pee outside." And then he's like, "Okay, well, come use this restroom." And gives her like a bunch of fucking puffed corn chips. It's very weird. But I used to watch that when I was like 10. My little brother was 7. We're like, "Oh my god, this is the coolest fucking movie in the world."
Your description of the plot of this movie and why the stakes are so high reminded me of like how you go to Taco Bell and you order and you say Taco Bell's the only place where you can say "and" like 12 times and still get your meal for $7.
In 2006. A bean burrito is $1.29.
Shit. You get a bean burrito and tacos and quesadilla
tacos
and
like
some chips and cheese and a drink. And like you just keep saying and then you get to the end of it, you expect you're going to be spending $25 and it's like, nope, $9. Sweet.
When was the last time you went to Taco Bell?
Not too long ago.
Oh my god.
I don't order as much food now though as I used to when I go there.
Yeah. Give me 4 beefy 5-layer burritos.
Yeah. Now I always say like
on
one
the dollar
and
menu.
in my order.
Oh my god. They used to have so much good shit too. It's like chicken chipotle flatbreads. Anyway, also, this was my runner-up for finishing move because he uses chopsticks to kill someone. He like puts them between his knuckles and shoves them through his neck like Wolverine.
Oh, God.
So, and final move, too, because the Kiss of the Dragon, where it gets its whole title, he wears, like, wristbands throughout the movie with needles, acupuncture needles in them, and he uses those in combat, which is really dope, to, like, paralyze people. And that's how he kills the big bad in the end, is he hits him in, like, the brainstem, and it gives him an aneurysm. It's fucking sick, bro!
It sounds like it. So I went with The Matrix.
That's a big one.
Yeah, a lot of stakes there. They're going to save the entire world from the machines and wake up humanity.
Whoa.
I know Kung Fu.
I was talking to my buddy, and I was like, yeah, we're doing Kung Fu movies. You going to talk about The Matrix? Yeah, bro. I know Kung Fu.
There's not much more to say about The Matrix and the stakes of The Matrix. Like, everyone gets it at this point. Neo has to become the one and save the world. And I love The Matrix, but I don't know that the moral of the story comes across as it should.
I think it's been confused over the years.
Well, so Neo is at the end of The Matrix. He's officially the one, and he's on a mission to wake up as many people as possible to save them. But why is he doing that? So they can live in this hellscape that Zion has become and try to fight these evil robots? Isn't it just good?
Chunky jizz soup for 3 meals a day?
Isn't it good enough for people to be living in the best time ever? Well, you know, according to the machine overlords, the best time ever, blissfully unaware that there's something more that they're missing out on. Like, they're being taken care of by the machines. The machines are keeping everyone alive. They're keeping them happy in this world. How does waking them up have a better chance, or waking them up has a better chance of killing them than just letting them be out in the world? Hashtag Cypher did nothing wrong.
Well, I also think this Neo character, he might be a communist icon, Kalvin. And I, for one, as a red-blooded American, don't like that. Because all these
Yeah.
people, you see, they have jobs. They're providing energy, clean energy, AOC, so you don't get on my case here, for the machines. Which, duh. Like, whoa. That's the best part about it. They have jobs, good working Americans. Why you gotta fuck that up? Neo.
Yeah, all their needs are met. They have food, shelter, clean living space. I don't know if it's clean, but
it looks clean. It's cleaner than the shithole they're living in. Fuck, they wear raggedy ass holy shirts and beanies everywhere. There's no heat. It's wintertime, and they're like, shit, I wish Morpheus would crank that heat up. And you're like, nah, this energy is precious. You know what our people had to do for this shit? You wouldn't believe it.
Yeah, let's keep everybody underground in this city where there's literally no space to move, and we're constantly getting attacked by octopus robots.
Lit parties.
Yeah. Good orgies. Good orgies. What did you have for the lowest stakes?
They get sweet plugs.
It's true.
I got 1978.
Wait, hold on. Speaking of the plugs, how often do you think people try and have sex in the plugs?
Like stick their dick in those metal objects?
Yeah. You know what's happened.
0% of the time, dude.
Oh,
I don't think anyone's that small or has that tiny of a dick.
If there is a hole on somebody's body, people are trying to stick their dicks in it. You don't think during that orgy, nobody tried to stick their dick in one of those body holes?
Probably. They're like, I want to fuck your brain. I want to feel you. Dude, that sound... Oh.
All right, so now get on to your lowest stakes.
1978's brain fucking... The Matrix! No, Drunken Master, Jackie Chan. He's literally just a dick. I
watched no Jackie Chan movies during this.
Oh, man, brother. This is
I've
one of
seen
Jackie Chan's...
Rush Hour 2 and 3, so...
This is where he kind of got his start. And he's literally just a hooligan. He just causes a lot of shit, so his dad's like, hey, you gotta go to this martial arts master and work really hard to redeem yourself. And then his dad, who's a business owner, has an assassination attempt done upon him. And is injured. He's not killed, he's injured. And Wong, who is Jackie Chan, has to fight Yim, who tried to assassinate his dad, that has like this, righteous, special, deadly move. It's a kicking style in a secret technique called the Devil's Hand. See, mentioning that technique. And Jackie Chan gets to utilize his drunken, kung fu that he learned from his master, who he had to go to be punished in the first place. Stupid. He's a hooligan, and he got taught how to fight like a motherfucker. He's kind of a bully, and then he taught him this like unbeatable kung fu technique, and there you go. It's a complete story of revenge, and I'm there for it.
Nice. Yeah, but like you said, good revenge story, no stakes other than him getting what he wants.
Pretty much. His dad got beat up, and so he's like, I'm going to get to utilize this kung fu that I didn't know I'd need because I didn't know my dad would be beaten up. I just had to do this because of my dick.
Yeah, I gotcha. I was running low on options here, and I went with Mortal Kombat, the 2021 version. They're fighting for supremacy in a tournament that no one even knows about outside of like 15 people. And even if they win, it doesn't mean anything. And if the bad guys win, they're just champions. They had like very small plans to take over the world, but like weren't even concerned with that. They just wanted to be the winners. They just wanted to cheat so they could be crowned the winners. They didn't have very, any good plans to do anything after they won. They just wanted to be claimed, hey, we are Mortal Kombat's winners.
Well, you think. So I looked at it like this. Even if they had ambitions of taking over our world, I feel like they would just be a sloth in paradise. It's like, oh my god, my world's not on fire and slowly falling apart and everyone's got ripped open jaws and 4 fucking arms and crazy shit.
Goro's gonna find himself a nice massage parlor and just like sink in if they take over the world.
You already know. And
get a hot tub.
Like, I don't even care about taking over the world. I'm cool with this province.
Yeah.
It's sick. I'll be the overlord here and we'll call it a day. I think the plans would just fall apart.
It's great that they can beat Sonya Blade and fucking Raiden but they're not going to stand a chance against the world's militaries. Sorry.
No, they would just bomb you.
He didn't have like a whole army around him. What is it? Shang Tsung? Is that who it is?
Shang Tsung.
Yeah. He didn't have any army or anything. He had his like 7 people that he was going to come and be like, yeah, hey, we won the Mortal Kombat tournament, so now we're taking over your world. And everybody just be like, the fuck?
Yeah.
No.
Dude, this is America? No. Dodge this. Nice Matrix callback there. You like that?
And I had an honorable mention to Romeo Must Die of the aforementioned clear out the waterfront space for the Oakland Raiders stadium.
I could totally see, what's his name, Al Davis? I could totally see him hiring a, ring of gangs to clear out space so his Raiders can have a new stadium.
And I think there also needs to be mentioned that there should be about 100 more honorable mentions here. All of these classic kung fu movies have basically no plot or stakes from what I could tell. They're just like a thin list of reasons or complaints why the protagonist had to fight people and keep
50%
fighting.
of them are defend honor of someone, myself, or my home studio, my home dojo, or just my style
really
of kung fu.
world-ending shit there like the Matrix.
No, you insulted Wing Chun. We need to fight to the death. It's not like that anymore.
All right, so on to the final category, the best finishing move. I go first here. I went back to the Kill Bill franchise with Kill Bill Volume 2 and the 5-point palm exploding heart.
It's just savage.
Yeah. Well, and then first she comes in and she kind of uses it. She like half uses it to snatch Elle's eyes out of her face, or like the one eye she has remaining.
Yeah, that was
in just
gross.
This super brutal scene.
Yeah, it was gross.
And she's just so like quick and smooth with it. You barely see that it's coming, and then it happens and it's done. And I'm not a big Uma Thurman fan, but I really liked her take on this. I thought she did a really great job of being the bride and putting everything that needed to go into that. And the other thing that I like about this move is that you get that delayed reaction from it. And like Bill knows he's fucked, and he's just got to sit there and die. But he has enough time to get out his last words, take a few steps away. You know, he really gets to fully explore himself in his last minutes. And in such a violent movie, it's kind of cool that the way the big antagonist dies is he just slumps into a pile on the ground. It's kind of like in the Harry Potter books, how Voldemort dies like any other human. It's kind of a parallel there.
Well, he got more than she ever did, which was, he tried to kill her and leave her in this church while he was getting married to her, man. That's so fucking terrible.
He wasn't getting married to her. She ran away from him.
I don't remember those movies all that well.
Yeah, she ran away. She found out she was pregnant, so she ran away and tried to start like a different life in Little Rock, and was marrying some other random dude. And that like the assassins all chased her down and killed everyone.
Fucking Little Rock, man. Gotta look out.
Yeah.
This is mean.
All right, so what was your best finishing move?
I went with The Matrix. And that's when Neo farts before launching through for Agent Smith's chest and making him explode in a large spectacle of light and pieces of his face. Thought that was pretty cool, man.
It is.
I remember first watching that and just being like, did he just shit his pants? Like, what is he doing? And even still, it's like, what? I remember reading what that was about, and it made sense, but I will always think, like, this dude just ripped a massive fart after getting fucking shot 9 times. He's dead on the floor, then he just wakes up, rips ass, jumps through someone's fucking chest, and they explode.
I haven't seen The Matrix in a while, but now I know anytime I watch it in the future, I'm not going to be able to not think about that. So thank you.
You've never thought about that?
No.
He's just like farting and bending reality. It looks like he's farting, like he's shitting his pants and then.
And this is your idea of a good finishing move: shit your pants as a projectile into another dude's chest.
Yeah, and then he explodes. Very efficient. There's no blood on him. Very efficient, Kalvin. Just shit.
Well, he's a computer program. Why would he have blood?
Why would he have shit?
There you go.
But he still does.
Yeah, everything about The Matrix is great. You could have,
in
the same way that you could have picked the man with the iron fist for every superlative, you could have picked The Matrix for probably every superlative in this as well.
I mean, you genuinely could have.
Yeah. But we're not allowed to, so we didn't. So now we're on to the final award, the final award, which is the worst finishing move, and I went to the classic Kung Fu Panda in the Wuxi finger hold.
Wuxi finger hold.
This is a damn near impossible move to pull off. You somehow have to catch your opponent's finger perfectly, and then I guess just hope that they don't move while you're only holding their finger. And then the move itself is just more or less an atom bomb of Cheeto dust that somehow destroys your opponent. And I've never seen the sequels to Kung Fu Panda, but I assume this tiger guy comes back. I don't think the Cheeto dust killed him for whatever reason.
Apparently that's the kryptonite for tigers. It's just loads of Cheeto dust.
And now the whole city's also covered in Cheeto dust. So, like, what the hell are you supposed to do with that? I'd be pissed if I lived in that city.
I'd be thrilled. Be like, slap me some Cheeto dust on this and this and this.
We have a place around here, I haven't tried it, that puts Cheeto dust on, like, chicken wings, chicken fingers. Like,
they'll fry Cheeto up your chicken fingers?
They do hot Cheeto and regular Cheeto dust on those chicken fingers.
Get you some hot Cheeto chicken fingers.
I don't think I could do it.
Oh, man, it's fantastic.
It doesn't look appetizing.
Do you like ranch at all?
Yeah.
It's great to dip with, like, some legit buttermilk ranch, like mainstream Hidden Valley brand type buttermilk ranch. None of the Hy-Vee versions or Walmart versions.
Gotcha.
You got to get the real stuff, and it's fire. Or sour cream, surprisingly. Most people wouldn't think of that, but it's very good.
All right, well, so back to the Wuxi finger hold here. The biggest problem with this is Po already had Tai Lung. That's the tiger's name. I apparently wrote it down here. He had him down and out with the giant belly bump that, like, shot him into space and cratered him back into the earth, which was a much better finishing move, and had it been the actual finishing move, would have been my pick for best. But now, on top of that, he has to cover the whole city in Cheeto dust, which is just whack. Like, why are you going this extra step? You've got him down and out with your belly bump. The belly bump's a better move.
Probably because he's fat.
He's like, the Dragon Warrior.
Fatty, get your Cheeto dust on out here.
Not a fan of the Cheeto dust. So what was your worst finishing move?
I chose Chong Li's from Bloodsport. His two major finishing moves is a knee to the chin, which we've all watched some UFC. That shit ain't, occasionally will knock someone out or kill them. And then the fucking chin slap, or the slap to the back of the head. He, like, waves to the crowd, and he's like, oh yeah, watch this shit. And dude's just like, ugh, and fucking, he's dead. It's dumb. It's whack. Worst finishing moves. Have no flair.
Yeah, Chong Li can suck it.
And suck it, then you suck it.
Then you suck it.
Suck it.
Suck it.
Suck it.
Suck it.
My wife's gonna be like, I told you no already. Quit saying that. Then you suck it, then you suck it.
Alright, so we have covered a lot. We gave out a lot of awards. We gave out the best and worst fight sequence, the best and worst protagonist, the best and worst choreography or stunt, the best and worst stakes or why are they kung fuing, why they are kung fuing, and the best and worst finishing move. So if you forgot any of them, just rewind, listen to the whole thing again. We don't mind. But now it's time for what would you do? And the first question has to be, who is out of all these kung fuers that we've watched, who's your favorite and why?
Jackie Chan.
Ooh.
Yes.
Not a good dude, that Jackie Chan.
Apparently not. He's kind of a hooligan. I think Donnie Yen's like a better martial artist in a straight fight, but the way Jackie Chan seems to always use the environment in his movies and just his crazy styles.
Yeah, he does some really cool things. Even, like, I've only seen the Rush Hour movies with him in it, and he does some really cool things of, like you said, using the environment around him to gain an edge. He doesn't necessarily hit people with things, but I think it's Rush Hour 2 when they're in a casino, he like slides through the little casino cashier window.
Yeah, the bars.
That's an impossible thing to do, and he really did it. And
yeah, I watched those outtakes too.
He's crazy that he can pull some of that stuff off and try some of that stuff.
I can't believe he's not dead. Like, legitimately, I cannot believe this man's not dead.
He's had a lot of big injuries, I think.
Yes. I think Jackie Chan's great. He's hilarious, for one, and very good at martial arts. So that's my favorite kung fuer. Donnie Yen's a close second.
I like Donnie Yen. This was hard for me because like I'm not by nature a kung fu movie fan, and I didn't get to watch as many of these as I would have liked to prepare for this. So I'll just kind of like compare some eras here of like Bruce Lee appears to be incredibly effortless in all of his kung fuing and like all of the stunts he does. And that makes those movies feel more real. And that's probably due a lot to the limitations of the time because his movies, when they were created, you didn't have any effects. You couldn't do wire stunts or anything like that. So everything had to be real. You couldn't fake most of the stuff that they're doing like you can now. So I think that's why it looks a little cooler and a little bit more lived in. It's like comparing, Star Wars to Rise of Skywalker, right? The practical effects often look more realistic or more like a more lived in world.
Absolutely, 100%. Like it's also had the benefit of being new and kind of unique at the time. Like what he was doing was very different than anything else that had been produced. But your practical versus CGI, 100% agree with you on that.
Well, it's not even CGI. I think it's more like elaborate stunts. So when you watch Jet Li or you watch
the
Jackie
wire
Chan,
fu shit.
Yeah, you watch Jet Li or Jackie Chan later in his career in these more modern movies, they seem to be taking a lot more chances with the stunts. They're not afraid to use wires and props to get the point across of what they're trying to do. And so they have these much more elaborate stunts, like I said, and those end up looking really cool because they're doing things that aren't physically possible, right?
Right.
And they're not afraid to play around with that. They're not afraid to get hurt in that. And when you compare that to like Donnie Yen's movies, he's doing more of the straightforward martial arts than kind of this flying around stuff.
That absolutely makes more sense. It's very centered on the martial arts itself instead of the extravagance or, neatness of it.
Right. So in my mind, and I think in a lot of people in the world's mind, kung fu movies have this history of being very similar, and you don't get much depth from them. So to you, what makes them so enjoyable that you keep watching different ones?
Honestly, it's just like a corny action flick. Sometimes I just want to turn my brain off and watch a movie. A lot of times they're goofy, and they all have like they're very similar in makeup, but their identities are all different. They all have their unique little spectacle, their unique little claim to fame, their unique little spice. It requires watching them to discover what that is, but often it's endearing in a sense. It's outrageous. And that's what I enjoy about it. Sometimes I just like turn my shit off and not have it be part of like a greater anthology that I give a shit about or stuff of that
right
nature.
You don't have to worry about the depth. It's a good kind of mindless, not filler,
it's kind of tight
but
too. It's like, oh
yeah,
shit, man, this dude's whooping his ass.
Gives you something to look at, right?
Right.
So as I'm watching through a lot of these, I realize I like the ones where they mixed in different genres. Your Kill Bills, your Matrixes, even like Romeo Must Die, where that's kung fu mixed with a romantic comedy in a way. Same thing with like the Rush Hours. I like those because they're the comedy mixed with a little bit of kung fu in there. Those all feel like more complete movies. But then when I'm watching the more classic kung fu movies, or even some of the modern ones that focus on the kung fu and the martial arts more so than storytelling, and I'm looking right at you, Flashpoint, with this, it's hard to watch several of those in a row because there's no plot, right? It's all very thin plot, and there's almost no stakes, and that's just not interesting to me. I watch movies for the most part for the storytelling over cool stunts, and having one without the other doesn't really work for me. And I'm well aware that you're going to point this out to me of the irony of saying all of this while also being fully invested in the Fast and Furious franchise to the point where it's one of my favorite franchises. I get that. I'd rather watch that dumb action than this dumb action because the kung fu dumb action all just kind of blends together in my head. And like I said, I zone out during it.
So that's how I am with Rush Hour, Fast and Furious.
No, man, they're shifting gears.
revving their engines.
Screaming about family, Corona. Come
on. Big ass foreheads.
Ludacris and Tyrese are making jokes. Yeah. There's some good stuff in there. All right, so the last and final question, probably the most important one. Could you kung fu your way out of a tight spot?
No. But
or how tight of a spot could you realistically see yourself kung fuing your way out
of? Requiring any form of technique, 0 situations, because I am a wild animal. I can fist fight fairly well. It's been a few years. But I can handle my own. Definitely not in any graceful or structured way. It's very wonky.
You would not be the All Valley Karate Tournament champion.
No. I would have, if it came down to it, kicked his knees in to get away.
Yeah, I'm with you. There's not a chance in hell that, like, if karate is my way out of something, it's not happening.
No, I'm just going to box your ears in and call it a day. I can't kick my legs very high.
I'll just, like, give you the money that I have on me and be like, yeah, fine.
Yeah, bye.
This is what you want. You got it.
I grew up with a buddy who was, like, obsessed with Taekwondo. And in high school, he got fucking destroyed. He was, like, a 6th-degree black belt. And he ended up breaking this kid's wrist just because he could. Like, he's an asshole about it. And then his older brother came, year older, not any bigger, not any stronger, no martial arts training, and just dog walked the fuck out of him. His taekwondo was useless.
Yeah, it's
fucking useless.
All right. You got anything else on kung fu movies?
No, I've talked my heart out about it, and I am so happy that I did.
All right. Thank you to everyone who listened to this. If you listened, if not, I understand. Like, kung fu movies, who wants it? Just Nick.
Apparently, I'm just a fucking loser.
No, I give it a hard time, but there are definitely some redeeming qualities here. It was mostly enjoyable to watch most of these movies. I don't think I was ever, like, fully bored during any of them. Even The Man with the Iron Fist, there was, like, some stuff I was like, what's going on there? Okay, cool.
The spectacle of it is kind of unreal. Okay.
Bloodsport was probably the one that I liked the least.
I tried, like I said, I rewatched that. That was like I'm gonna wait for my parents to go to bed, and then we're gonna watch Bloodsport on VHS. It's like, oh, cool.
Yeah. I could see that, the allure of that part of
that. That was I thought it was the coolest shit on earth back then, and then I grew up and was like, this is kind of stupid.
It's very stupid. Sorry to all you Bloodsport heads. Anyway, hit us on Twitter with your favorite kung fu movies or your favorite kung fu-ers. That's at APA something and at alone_podcast. Next week will be the Lost episode. This is an episode recorded all the way back in 2018 that never got released because it wasn't good. And finally, right before finale month, we're releasing it to the world so everyone can hear just how not good it was. I'm sorry to the guests, but you guys know what it is. We've talked about it. The guest was Boy Meets World. We talked about some stuff from Boy Meets World, and all sides were just not very good. I was sick, very sleepy, just trying to do my best to get through. It didn't turn out good. So have fun listening to that next week. It's already all produced. It'll be up on time. So really excited to release that finally. And then after that, the month of July will be finale month. We've got a lot of great shows kind of covering some of our favorites from the past, which is going to be super cool to do. And like putting a bow on this show in, going out on top kind of is what we want to do. We're like The Good Place or Parks and Rec. We're not going to stick around until nobody's listening anymore. Because you know what? Nobody's been listening the whole time. Except you, listener. So for more from Nick, check out You Are All Alone Podcast and alonepodcast.com. And for my next venture, check out The Magic Number is 3 when it comes to TV. You can find us on Twitter at Magic3TVPod. And there's going to be a lot more coming up on that feed very soon. So we're really excited to move on with that and to keep this going for another month. And I'm sure Nick's excited about You Are All Alone to keep going. I don't know. He doesn't ever talk about it.
You don't ever ask.
Are you excited, Nick?
I'm thrilled.
Are you not entertained?
I have some super dope shit planned out. We're building probably another 12 to 13 episodes of a little bit of world building action, and then it's going to come with a massive payoff.
Nice.
It's going to be dope.
Pay them mofos off.
Honestly, what I've been writing to the entire time. I'm getting to my favorite point in my entire story.
Abe dies. I get it.
Nope.
Spoiler alert.
I'll let you guys know right now. But someone
That's
dies.
good. I like Abe. He shouldn't die. So check out all that cool stuff. And all of the music for Podcast About Something is provided by those cats.
You guys stay sassy.
Stay classy.